You oversee the coverage of the world's billionaires, and I think for quite some time now, Musk has been the biggest of the big, right? How long has he been number one for?
It's amazing. He had a meteoric rise in 2020. So he was only this year, 2022, was the first year that he was number one in the world on our annual list. But
Right.
he overtook Bezos to become number one richest in the fall of 2021. So it feels like it's been forever, but it actually hasn't.
They're fleeting. And this time, well, maybe not exactly this time last year, but certainly last November, I think he hit a high of 320 billion. He's now down quite a bit. Like, what happened?
Yeah. So basically, so just kind of a little back up to the whole history of him really quickly. He became the chairman and investor in Tesla in 2004, I believe, and then became the CEO of Tesla in 2008. Tesla went public in 2010. He first became a billionaire in 2012. We put him on our list at 2 billion in March of 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stock kind of went up bit by bit over time. By 2015, he was worth 20 billion, 15, excuse me, 12 billion. By 2018, 20 billion. But 2020 was the year, like it was the pandemic. It was crazy, right?
It was explosive for a lot of people. Yeah,
yeah,
but especially
horrible
him.
time for most of the country. But the stock market, of course, did crazy well in 2020. In March of 2020, he was worth $25 billion on our annual billionaires list. And then a year later, March of 2021, he was worth $151 billion. So that is a huge climb. And it was basically, yes, there was some of it was the increase in the value of SpaceX, which is a private company, and there were investors putting more money in at a higher valuation. But Tesla is a much bigger piece of his net worth, and that was the real reason for the run up.
November last year, Carrie, he was worth 320 billion. He's now down, I believe last I checked, around 191 billion. Obviously Twitter is top of mind, but what happened in the past year to really slice so much wealth?
I think some investors thought it was overvalued. I certainly thought it seemed overvalued.
The
for
Tesla,
a company Tesla was overvalued. Because the company was producing about 100,000 cars a year, give or take, and was worth more than Toyota, which was producing millions, right? It just it didn't make sense. Yes, the company is growing and they have production in China and all this kind of stuff, but you have competition coming in. You have more electric car. You have big companies like Volkswagen and BMW getting into electric car making. So there's competition, and I think there was a lot, and all overall the stock market declined too. So we have an overall decline in stocks generally, and then you have the craziness of the Twitter stuff. But the Twitter thing didn't really start until April, right? So the stock started falling even before that. But a lot of it has been, people are saying, there's some unhinged behavior that's coming through from Elon Musk. Today he's been tweeting about craziness with Apple and saying that Apple's threatening to ban Twitter from the App Store, and what's going on, Tim Cook. And, one of the analysts who follows Tesla, Dan Ives, tweeted what I thought was pretty on the ball. He says the Musk versus Apple new battle is not what investors want to see. The street wants less drama. The Twitter situation is the gift that keeps on giving for Tesla bears. Surprisingly, Tesla stock was not down that much today. But, long term, it seems like, okay, first of all, if Apple does remove Twitter from the App Store, that's not good. You're already seeing stories about, I read something about Musk calling up CEOs of companies that have removed their advertising for Twitter and berating them. Is this a way to win back advertisers?
And it gets to the point really of there's the, whatever hinged or unhinged behavior that takes place on Twitter. And then there's the reality of being CEO of multiple companies means that you're not really all in on the company that one might be invested in. And I think there's probably some legitimate concern over the degree to which there's oversight of Tesla at such a critical point in the economy, right? Is that, I mean, there's so much as if it's ambient what's happening in the environment, but it's interesting to try and isolate how much of his wealth is really due to his behavior at Twitter and just these other factors of not really having as much time for the companies we know him for.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if I was a Tesla shareholder, and I'm not, I would be wondering, what are we paying him for? He's giving right now, it feels like he's giving all of his time to Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Obviously he's got deputies at Tesla who are running the show because they continue to produce cars, right? It's not like the company's shut down, but I mean, it's a lot. A CEO job is a big commitment. And so the fact that he's CEO of SpaceX and Twitter and Tesla, and the Boring Company, I mean, it's just, it's too much, right? I think it's too much.